Okay, hello everybody, this is Callie. Hi, how are ya? I sort of realized that I had fallen behind yet again on my journal entries, or shall I say blog entries, and my journal entries because I haven't been keeping up with my travel journal. I've always been horrible with journals. It's just the way I am. And at the demand of Melissa that I update my blog, I decided I would be best off doing a vlog. A vlog is a video blog. It is appropriately named, I suppose. So I guess I'm just going to try to fill in all the rest of the stuff that's happened from the beginning of the semester till now, which is like 10 weeks worth of stuff. But so, I believe that I left off with orientation camp. And if I didn't, that's just where I'll pick up because I don't think anything much of consequence happened before then. There was like a normal orientation week, but I only went for part of one day because I realized that this stuff was irrelevant if one was an international student just here for a semester and not doing an entire degree. Because most of it was how to plan your schedule so you can complete your course in 3 years and things like that. And 3 years is the standard length of time for for a degree here, which is like a major and 2 minors or something. It's crazy. They have like no general education requirements like we do in the United States. Okay, so I went to orientation camp, and there were 16 students that went on the camp, and then there were the older students who were running the camp, and they were part of the student association. And it was done in a style that was like The Amazing Race. So on Friday during the day, we got into teams of 4, except my team had 3 instead of 4. And we basically had to put together these clues and go all around Sydney getting the next clues. And then we were timed, and we got points taken off if we had to call and ask for help or whatever. But then my team, we didn't get all the way to the last clue, even though we knew where it was. We knew that if we went to get it, we wouldn't have enough time to get back. So we skipped that and we came back. We were the first team back, so that gave some bonus points, even though we missed the last one. And then we all got into a miniature bus and we headed up to Mount Victoria in the Blue Mountains to have our weekend camp trip. And so on the camp trip, there were other challenges that we had to do, like crate stacking. It's difficult and exhausting and nerve-wracking, but it was kind of neat, in that you got to have a harness and you were swinging several feet above the ground. We also had things like bocce ball tournaments, and we had group performances at the very end, which my group totally dominated on. 30 out of 30 points. So we did the best on that. But I mean, hello, you have the theater minor here. No, I'm kidding. We all did a lot of stuff for it. So that was cool. Yes, we had camp, and besides doing that kind of stuff, we had all sorts of other things we could do. There were these giant trampolines and stuff. But the coolest part was that when it was like the end of the first night, I had made a friend named Sass. Well, actually, his name is Steve, but his last name is Sasson, so people just call him Sass. So I was friends with Steve because he was on my competition team, and then through him, I was also friends with Carmelo and a few other girls, both of which are named Katie. But it was so cool because it was the end of the night, and I was like, okay, well, see you guys in the morning. Good night. And they were just like, oh, good night, Callie. And I can't remember which of the guys hugged me first, and I was like, what? Oh, I think I have friends. That was seriously the thought that went through my head. I didn't voice it because it sounded really dorky, and it sounds really dorky now that I told all of you guys, but there you go. So we had all that, and another cool thing about being in the Blue Mountains is it's further removed from the city, so you see more wildlife. So I saw kangaroos. Like, we were out playing bocce ball on the playing field, and there's just kangaroos clustered over here in the corner, just munching on the grass, kind of watching us throw bocce balls. It was ridiculous. they're less twitchy than deer are, even, which is confusing because deer are really used to people by now. So that was really neat. Just these kangaroos shrouded in the mist on the mountains. It was nuts. Emily, I threw that quote in just for you. So then Sunday morning, we all stuffed ourselves back in the van and went back. I'm pretty sure that I went home and I went to bed because I was very tired. Yeah, it was a pretty tiring weekend, but it was really, really fun. So that was my big thing. And now I have a lot of friends that I made on that weekend trip. That trip was put on by the Student Association at Stratfield, and after a couple weeks of resisting, I realized that I spent most of my time in the Student Association office anyway, because that's where all my friends were and that's where I was visiting, and they really wanted an international student to be on the committee to help plan events and give input from the international student point of view. So I broke down and I applied for the Student Association, and I'm on the events committee for a grand total of like 3 or 4 more weeks because I'll be gone soon. But there you go. Yes. And after the orientation camp, basically it was the start of uni classes.